Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. In today's video, I'm going to be showing our beginner simmers how to create and write down a route string for your flight. Well, what is a route string? Well, it's basically all of the waypoints to and from two airports of your choosing. On certain aircraft, you'll be able to use your electronic flight bag and you'll be able to create your flight plan automatically, and then you can send it to your avionics of the aircraft. And some of them, they may require SimBrief to download it to the avionics of the aircraft. This is for the people who want to kind of learn how to make their own routes instead of having the sim do it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Today's aircraft, we are using the PMDG 777-200. I chose this aircraft just because it does have SimBrief integration. However, I have it completely disabled for the purposes of this video, so you can see what you have to do to create your route, not only in the FMC or FMS of your aircraft, but also as the electronic flight bag uses it. So opening up our EFB, we can see we have our route here. So whenever you are in the menu of the flight sim and you're creating your to and from destinations, you'll select your airport of your choosing, parking area of your choosing, and also destination as well. When you first open up your flight bag, this is what you're going to come across. It's a VFR setup, or visual flight rules, and it basically will give you the recommended runway, initial climb, pattern 1, pattern 2. Now if we zoom out a little bit, we can see these specific parts here. So here's your initial climb, pattern 1, pattern 2, and then if we zoom out and head to our destination airport, which I have chosen Dallas-Fort Worth for, we can come over here and then we can kind of see what the approach is going to look like. However, airliners and IFR traffic don't use approach settings like this. They use instrument flights, they use automated landing stuff, and a whole bunch more. They use different waypoints and routes to get to their destination. So the one thing to do, and it's really easy to do, is when you click Find Route, what it'll do is it'll actually change everything to IFR settings, and it'll give you a proper departure and route waypoint, arrival, and approach procedure to your destination. You can click Find Route, and it'll do that, or if you want to enter a route string, you can enter a route string here. So what that will do, what you'll do here, is you will basically go through and you will manually type in different waypoints to your destination. So following the purple line, you can kind of zoom in. You can locate like NDBs, VORs, and depending on how far you zoom in, you can also get your waypoints as well. So if we recenter on our aircraft, what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a waypoint string like this, so we can see it created a proper departure. We have waypoints en route, we have an arrival procedure, and our approach to the runway. So normally in default aircraft, you would click send, and then you could choose to send it to ATC and the avionics or straight to the avionics, depending on if you're using like VetSim or anything like that. When you send an avionics, it'll bring it all the way down here to your FMS or FMC, and then you can just go through and double check to make sure that everything is correct. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to manually input all of the data we have here into the FMS, FMC, so you can see what that's like to generate your route string. So let's get a little bit closer here. So you can see origin, destination, flight number, company route, alternate, secondary route, and then you have your activate. So what we're going to do is we're only going to put in the basics because that's really all you need. So we're at Detroit Metro Airport. That'll be our origin. We are going to Dallas Fort Worth. That's our destination. You can put in a flight number if you want. We'll just put this in, and then you're going to click activate, and then you're going to click execute. So we can see active route 1, everything is here, and then you would go through, begin your performance initialization, which this step we will skip currently. There's your takeoff references. Again, we will skip all of that. So when you go to legs, you're going to see nothing's here. That's because we haven't put anything in yet. So when we open up our EFB, we'll take a look here. Our departure runway is going to be runway 4 right. So on the right hand side, you'll see our runways. Click 4 right. And then what you want to pay attention to is what is displayed above the waypoint string for the departure. So we have this right here. This is called a SID. All of the SIDs that are available are located on your left hand side. Click next page and you can go through and you can see all of the SIDs that currently are available. Now because I have everything disabled on Navigraph and SimBrief, my navigation data is slightly out of date, so that's why this waypoint Cinders 2 and Cinders 3 it doesn't match. However, if you are out of date with your Navigraph or you don't even have it enabled, you want to try to get it as close as you can. So Cinders 3, Cinders 2, and then your transition is going to be, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Just like that. So you click runway 4 right on the right hand side, find your SID, which is right here, and then your transition, which is this, and you find it as well, and then you're going to click execute. And you'll notice that it says active, so if we go over to our legs, we can see here's our intercept, and then all of the waypoints that create the departure. So then when you're done putting down your departure, you're going to click the departure arrival button right here. That is the third one on the top. It's going to bring you right back to the departure list again. Just click index. You're going to find DFW and you're going to click arrival. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come down here. We're going to find our approach procedure, which we are using ILS runway 36 right. So using the next page and previous page, you will go and you will locate ILS 36 right. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give you your stars, your vias, and your transitions. Now, depending on the airport, you may have an actual approach procedure. So it might say like ILS 36 right via direct, or it might say ILS 36 right via, and then there will be a waypoint there. Now, when you click your ILS approach, if it says direct, just click none. If there is a waypoint, then you will find that waypoint. So stars. So up here in our arrival procedure, now this is your star approach. This is what it's called. So what you're going to find is you're going to find Wilbur 1, or in our case, Wilbur 8. And then the transition here is going to be BYP. So we can see here, this is the route string we were looking for. It also does say manual right here, that is vectors to the approach to the next waypoint, which would be Slocco. Now you can actually, what you can do, if you have an ILS like this, you can see our transition to Slocco. You can actually click that. We can click execute, activates it. Now if we go to our legs again, we find our departure, and then you'll see a route discontinuity where it says then, and it'll be a blank route discontinuity, and then you can see we actually have our approach. Vectors, that is our vectors to get us lined up to our next waypoint, which would be Slocco. Now you cannot go through and delete this, so when you get to vectors, you can activate Slocco by doing that. When you click Slocco, now you'll be on vectors, so it would be whatever the purple is, you would click it there, it would place it on top, and then you'd click execute, and then it would send you over. The computer will navigate towards that waypoint instead of having the vectors do it. So, if you notice, we have a discontinuity here, and then we don't have any extra between this waypoint and this waypoint, which is right here and right here. So the next thing we got to do is we have to go through and we have to enter these different waypoints. Now it's important to note that if you are not using SimBrief or Navigraph and your nav data is out of date, some of these waypoints may not pop up. So what you got to do is you are going to manually type in all of these waypoints, like so, and where it says then, you're going to click on that key to put it into the route string. And you gotta just make sure you do spell the waypoints correctly, because if you do incorrect input, it may send you to a waypoint that may be on the other side of the world. Next page, and that'll be Y, like so. So if you happen to get a waypoint that is not in the route database, when you click it, then it'll say down here, it'll say not in database. You'll click clear a couple times, you'll delete it from your scratch pad down here, and then you'll just move on to the next one. So now that we have entered in our route string here, we can see that they're all, it says mod, and they're all highlighted. We still have a discontinuity here, and then it still wants another waypoint. To delete this discontinuity, all you gotta do is just type in the next waypoint right here. So we have BYP in our scratch pad. We can already see that it's put onto our route string. We're just gonna put it right here where it says then, and then it's gonna connect. And then once you see that it's connected, just go ahead and click execute. And now your route string is perfectly in place. If you want to see how it looks on the map, just zoom out a little bit. And when you're on your plan, you can see going through, just taking a look at the waypoints, you can see how everything is connected together, except for Slocco, because the route calls for vectors from town to Slocco, which is okay. The air traffic controller will get you to that waypoint. If you have ATC completely disabled, again, you can just click Slocco into your scratch pad, go to your current active waypoint, which would be highlighted in purple. You would click the hotkey where it's highlighted purple, it will replace it, and then you'll click execute, and then the computer will navigate to that waypoint. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how to manually put an route into the computer of your aircraft. This can be done on any aircraft. This can be done on the default aircraft that are available in the game, as well as your payware and add-on aircraft as well. And when it comes to the payware and add-on aircraft, this is kind of a must, because as I said, you cannot send this route to the avionics, so you'll have to manually put in everything, just like we just did. So once you are done with that, then you can go ahead and continue setting up the rest of your aircraft for your flight. So hopefully you guys found this information useful. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you would like to see next. I have a few reviews on the way for a few more payware aircraft, so make sure you are subscribed, and make sure to hit that notification bell so when you see those videos go live, you make sure you can see them. We're getting close to 100 subscribers there, fellas. We appreciate every single one of you watching, subscribed and not subscribed. Y'all mean everything to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.